Illinois remains in Champaign, back-to-back home games here after the big win over Michigan State. Now they are taking on the second most miserable team in the Big Ten Conference. That would be the Maryland Terrapins. Maryland just had to come back from down 13 points at halftime to defeat a depleted Michigan team at home. My well-embedded moles in the arena of that Maryland game told me that it was quite the experience, that the fans have really turned on this team loudly to their faces. It's bad times for the Terps. They have struggled, to say the least, and Illinois looks like they continue to roll. We are recording this at 11:34 a.m. on Friday, so this is before any of the Terrence Shannon Jr. activities that are taking place on Friday occur. Excuse us if something comes from that. We are unaware of it at this point. I don't necessarily expect anything to come from that at this point, but you never know. With that said, Carter, should Illinois have anything to worry about in this game from Maryland?
I truly don't think so. There's a lot that might look on the outside or might have watched that game and be like, wow, what an inspired second half comeback for Maryland. No, Maryland just realized that they were playing Michigan without Doug McDaniel, and Dante Scott hit some shots. This Maryland team is still really bad. Deshaun Harris-Smith's jumper causes me pain. Jamie Kaiser can't hit shots. All they have is Jameer Young. I think Jameer Young is going to really, really struggle against this Illinois defense and size. I think it's going to bother him. Even though he's a good player, he'll probably end up getting his. But I just think they're really going to struggle on the road. I can't remember the last. I can't remember the last time Maryland won a road game.
At UCLA about a month ago.
Is that okay? Well, then that speaks for itself. That shouldn't even count as a road win.
Well, the thing is, Maryland has they've gotten a schedule to this point where they've played a lot of floundering teams that are similar to them. And like, you beat Michigan, good job, pat on the back. You beat UCLA, good job, pat on the back. Like, overtime at home against Penn State, that'll rally the troops. I don't know, man. Like, everybody else they've played with a pulse, they've gotten destroyed by, including Indiana, who barely has a pulse, lost by 12 at Indiana, lost by 17 at Villanova, lost on a neutral to Davidson and UAB, lost at home to Purdue in arguably their most impressive result of the year by just 14 points, and then lost at Minnesota by 3. Like, that's the entire season for Kevin Willard's group. I'm at the point with Maryland where I don't think this is turning. Like, I through the December and January stuff, I kept being like, it's gonna turn around at some point. There's too much talent on this roster. They're gonna start looking like the team from last year. I don't think that's coming. I think this is just like a debacle of a roster, and all the guys they added can't shoot a lick. And that leaves Julian Reese, who can't shoot, and Jameer Young, who's by no means like a knockdown shooter, in a really, really tough spot where they're trying to drive and get stuff at the rim against teams with just 5 guys packed in the paint at all times. I don't know what you do. Unless Dante Scott's going to keep hitting 4 threes and a half, I don't see a path to this team winning any games.
Yeah, and I definitely don't see them going into State Farm and getting a dub, even if the students aren't back on campus yet. I just think that this Illinois team will actually be looking to play a better game, I think. I don't think they played necessarily a good, even though they won against Michigan State, I'd say they played like a B- game, C+. I think they're way better than that. They just didn't play all that well. They made plays down the stretch. Coleman played really well. Damask played well down the stretch, but he was struggling early on. But it'll be interesting to see what Illinois looks like. I think the thing I'm going to look forward to most is probably seeing if we get maybe 2 back-to-back Ty Rodgers games. I think that's what I'm going to be looking at the most. Also looking for Damask to put together a full game. And then thirdly, probably see Luke Goody knock some down.
If you were Kevin Willard, who's guarding Ty Rodgers?
Ooh. Probably Julian Reese.
Sticking with it, thinking that's the way?
I think so, because one, Julian Reese, if anything, he's going to foul Ty. Even though Ty did hit free throws last game. But yeah, I would try it. I'm truly not buying into the Michigan State thing. I think that has way more to say about Michigan State centers than it does how that strategy actually works. So that still be what how I would match up.
Okay, so I have a flip on this that I don't know. We've been so wrong on Ty Rodgers that like you should probably throw everything we say out the window on this guy. But here's my current theory. I think that now that we've seen Ty beat centers in Mahdi and Carson Cooper, I don't think any team should try the center thing on him anymore for two reasons. For two reasons.
Would you just call Marty and Carson?
Centers.
Centers what? Basketball centers?
Yeah, they're centers.
Oh.
Are they not centers? What are they?
They're on the team.
Okay. All right. Against bigs, against tall people.
Yeah.
I think there's two reasons teams should not do this anymore, unless you're Zach Edey. Number one reason is that Ty appears to have figured out that he can shoot floaters and make them. That's scary. Number two reason is that even if it does work, like follow me on this. If you play your center on Ty and it shuts him down, isn't Brad just going to go to a more dangerous lineup anyway?
Yeah.
So like now we're at the point of like either Ty cooks you or Ty doesn't cook you and my small ball lineup cooks you. Like either way, the resolutions you're getting cooked.
Yeah. But with that said, though, that will work. How quickly does he do it, though?
See, I think Brad figured it out by now. Like,
but also it doesn't matter against Maryland because they'll be up regardless.
Hey, stop, dude. We're talking Illinois. He didn't like my Ty Rodgers lines.
Sorry, Ben.
So, but like, I don't think I would want to play that game anymore. Is the point, because we know Brad has the trump card to be like, we'll just go small and blow you off the court. And it's only upside of putting a center on Ty was that Ty's not going to know what to do. Well, now Ty knows what to do. So we like need to see him do it still. But like, it just, I don't know. I wouldn't flirt with that at all. I would rather, like, I feel like it's more beneficial to Illinois opponents to try and have Ty Rodgers on the floor against someone who can kind of guard him than it is make him the mismatch of the game. That's how I feel right now. And I think Maryland has one guy who could guard him individually. It's Deshaun Harris-Smith. Like he's big enough, he's quick enough to hang with Ty Rodgers.
Right, but then who does that leave checking guys like Damask?
That's a good point. Illinois is so hard to match up with, man. Like, what are you supposed to do?
They really are.
I mean, Geronimo and Kaiser are 6'6".
That's true. Yeah, but if you're putting 6'6" freshman Kaiser on Damask, I think Damask is gonna put that young man through hell.
I mean, I think so. Going through this, Scott can guard Guerrier, we think. Julian Reese, fine on Coleman. Do you put Harris-Smith on Damask then?
I would probably put Harris-Smith on Damask. I think Jameer Young can actually be okay with Ty Rodgers.
Yeah, then he's going to do his post stuff again, though.
Yeah, but Jameer is like he's very good defensively, though. I think he can make it. I honestly, I haven't seen this yet, but has anyone tried like full court pressure on Ty? I saw it a little bit early on in like the exhibition games, but I haven't seen it after that, to be honest with you. Like, I think maybe instead of doing the center thing on Ty, you do the like put the guard on, put the actual point guard on him, but the point guard is up in him defensively.
Picking up.
You're picking up full court and you're making him go up the court. Now, that also probably wouldn't work because Illinois has a lot of ball handlers. They can just throw the ball to Damask and Damask could bring it up, or somebody else can bring it up. Which brings us to the final fleeting point that we have been waiting to say this whole time, which we said on every Illinois episode. Newsflash, Illinois Fighting Illini are a really, really good ass basketball team. They're really good. They're tough to defend. They are tough to score on because they're very switchable defensively as well. That's why this is a really, really good basketball team, even without Redacted.
I love this team so much. I
do too.
So much, man. They're so good.
Too.
Your point about pressing is 100% though, because, and for the record, Maryland did that against Michigan and it worked, especially in the second half. But they can do this. It was Michigan why they were doing it. Like Maryland will put full court pressure on teams and they have good personnel for it. Like Young and DHS is a really good full court pressure backcourt. And quite frankly, with how bad the Maryland offense is, they have to do that. Like their best chance of scoring is forcing a turnover or live ball, getting out in transition. So I like that call. I think that could pose some problems for Illinois. We'll see. Is this a Dane Danger game? Yes or no?
Every game should be a Dane Danger game.
Not should it be, is it?
Yes, it actually will be a Dane Danger game.
This is my favorite bit because I know
If
it's not a bit. I know it's not a bit.
if they play Julian Reese, Dane Danger will have him with 4 fouls before you could even get a breath in.
Dane Danger's gonna play like 6 minutes in this game max, and he's gonna score 2 points, and you're gonna love the 2 points. Like that's
Cause transitive pro if you know what, give me per 40 Dane stats special.
you know what? I actually want to look these up. I'm sorry. I don't want to move on until I do this. I just can't like I'm sure people think this is a bit. It's not a bit. We don't talk about this beforehand, and you genuinely like go through the thought process of this every time. It cracks me up. You always land on it's a Dane game. Oh my God, his per 40s. Are you ready for these?
Please.
23.8 points per game, 14 rebounds per game. He's shooting 70% from the floor.
Free my dog, man.
This guy's so good.
Dude,
He
he's
just doesn't
good.
play. He just doesn't play, man. Oh my God. How many threes does Maryland hit? This is the worst shooting team I've ever seen at the high major level.
I think they hit 5.
Okay, that feels right. Yeah, it feels good. Man, if you watch the Michigan game, they're going through so much mental stuff. Like guys know they're supposed to shoot shots that are wide open from three, and they just don't shoot them. And then they swing the ball, they get the ball back still wide open, and then they begrudgingly shoot it, and it just clangs off the side of the backboard. Like it's bad. I don't know what Willard has these boys doing, but it's bad.
You have Deshaun Harris Smith at the end of one floor, and you have Malik Hall at the end of the other. They each can't leave until they make 100 3-pointers. How long does it take, and who leaves first?
Malik Hall leaves first, and it takes him. Does he have a rebounder?
Yes,
If he has a rebounder, it takes Malik Hall 20 minutes.
20.
Yeah. And he probably like takes a break in between too. Deshaun Harris Smith might be at like 12 by the time Malik Hall leaves. That man, this dude can't shoot, man. I said it in our group chat, but I'm gonna just say it out loud. He hoops like Hansel Emmanuel with confidence issues. Like straight up. He just has one hand, that's it. And he just wants to go to the rim, and he's not bigger than everybody anymore. And he is so afraid of shooting a basketball right now. He shouldn't I hate saying it. He doesn't look like a basketball player. He should play a different sport. Like he'd probably be sick at track.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah. Or I don't know. There's a lot of teams that would use him as like a running back third down guy.
A scat back.
Yeah, one of those, you know? All right. Final prediction. Kempom has Illinois by 14. Illinois did not cover against Michigan State. I'm still pissed about it. Thanks, Luke Goody. What do you got in this game?
Yeah, I think this is a cover in this game. Maryland's bad. Maryland's really, really bad. And I think this one could get away from them on the road against a good team.
I am already very excited for what this is going to open at because the sportsbooks keep undervaluing Illinois. And I know they didn't cover last game, but Ken Pom has them by 14. Like I said, I feel like the books might open up at like 10 here. Like they're not going to lay like 15 points on the road.
We want those.
Yeah, we want those. If they give me Illinois minus 10, I'm all over it. I think this will be a blowout win. All right. I gave you the chance to do this last night. You wouldn't do it. ILL?
See you for the recap.